So, a while ago, I made a video ranking every attraction in Animal Kingdom, and since then, I've been procrastinating on making a ranking of every roller coaster at Walt Disney World, but now because one of them is going to be closing in the near future, I better get this done soon. This is every roller coaster at Walt Disney World in 2025 ranked worst to best, in my opinion. Maybe I'll re-rank this in 2029 when the Monsters Inc. Door Coaster and Villains Coaster are done. And to clear up any confusion for the attractions at the other international parks, I'll only talk about the Florida version of them. So let's do this.
Disappointment in the game of life!
Dead last at number 9 is no shocker being the Barnstormer for the exact same reason Triceratops been ranked last in the Animal Kingdom ranking. It just isn't up to snuff with the other attractions on the list because it's a kiddie coaster. I do want to be very clear that there's not a thing wrong with Barnstormer and is only held back by the age demographic it's meant for. Remember, Walt Disney World is one of the biggest family parks in the world, so it is important that there are things there for smaller kids to enjoy. I'm just not one of those kids, as I'm a lot older. However, I will give Barnstormer recognition for being there to help kids get over their fear of coasters. But it's not getting any higher.
Who let the dogs out?
Slinky Dog Dash is a fun family coaster. There's not really much else to say other than it's fun. I mean, Toy Story Land does fall flat on being the kid land of Hollywood Studios, mainly due to the lack of things to do there and how it's hotter there than a dark colored car in July. I really think Toy Story Land could have benefited from a play area, especially how there used to be a Honey I Shrunk the Kids play area in Hollywood Studios. But on the topic of Slinky Dog Dash, it's an enjoyable ride, fun for the whole family, and can serve as an alternative coaster if your kids don't want to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. But my big question is how this minute-and-a-half ride managed to have such insane wait times. Can someone calculate the capacity if they can? Like, please? Can they? Just a quick editor's note, you know how Triceratops Bin, as we speak, is being demolished? Well, hey Disney, I have an idea. Why don't you just repurpose this, prefab, and just, reskin those Triceratopses into Trixie, and just make, a flat ride in Toy Story Land? I don't know. Just an idea.
Digital style! Do a digital dancing!
Oh boy, Tron Light Cycle Run. I have a lot to say, but I need to give some context first. You see, Tron first opened at Shanghai Disneyland in 2016, and it was a huge hit with guests. So much so that in 2017, it was announced that it would be coming to Florida, and construction began the following year. And it took absolutely forever, with it seeming as if barely any progress was made. And Tron would finally open in April of 2023, which was 5 years since construction began. For comparison, Universal was able to construct Hagrid in just a year and a half, even with having to demolish Dueling Dragons. I know people will try to bring up the pandemic, but Disney still had 2 years before it happened to build it. So, with Tron taking half a decade to build, how is the ride? Very underwhelming. First off, the queue is very forgettable. I completely forgot about the queue after the trip, and in an attraction, the queue is very important for giving you first impressions, and the actual ride experience is very, very lame. You have a very cool launch, which is exciting, and then you go outside and you see all the guests, and then you go inside the show bit and go past a screen or something, and that's it? No, that can't be it. Yep, this ride is very short with the main segment lasting only 50 seconds. That's it. I can understand how Imagineering was very limited in what they could do as they were taking a pre-existing ride in Shanghai where people there probably have smaller standards for attractions to bring to America where people are so used to thrilling experiences. But Imagineering is no stranger to changing up rides for international parks, and they could have easily put a unique spin on Tron. Why not make a coaster like Dueling Dragons where there are 2 separate tracks racing each other? That would have been very cool. But I guess this is what we got. Time to move on.
Mining away!
We're now heading into territory of rides that are good, starting with the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's a pretty good attraction that provides fun thrills for the whole family. The ride vehicles are very unique, being able to swing from side to side, and the dark ride portions give off a vibe that other attractions do. I do, however, have a few issues with Seven Dwarfs. First off, the projected facial animatronics look very off, and this applies to other attractions that use this. It's a good thing Imagineering did away with this with Tiana's Bio Adventure. Also, the coaster portions of the ride feel a little bit empty and could have used some props to build out the scenes, but you go by so fast that it's not really a big deal. I did think that this ride was too short at around 3 minutes long, however, that's about the length of most of the coasters at Walt Disney World anyways. So overall, this is a pretty good ride, but I will never get why Disney gutted out the OG Snow ride for a meet and greet. What?
Thunder! Feel the thunder!
Out of the two mine train rides at Magic Kingdom, Big Thunder Mountain takes the W. It's longer, is more fun, and has a ton of little details you won't notice while riding it. There's a lot of animals and even human figures scattered around. Some are easier to spot than others, but it adds to the world building of the attraction, which is a lot deeper than you think. Apparently, the trains are supposed to be possessed by ghosts, and that's why they're so rough, giving the ride the reputation of being the wildest ride in the wilderness, so much so that it's been used for people to pass kidney stones. I'm not making this up. And who couldn't forget the T-Rex skeleton at the end? It's pretty nice. And also, the sounds used on Thunder Mountain are really cool and satisfying. The trains whistle when you turn. Just listen to that. Over the many, many decades that Thunder Mountain has been around, it has proven time and time again to be a classic that never fails to disappoint. Oh, and if you're wondering which of the two in America I find better, I will say Disneyland's is a smidge better due to the dynamite part feeling more exciting than just getting run over by a train in Florida. But I will say that the loading area on the East Coast is better because you start underground as opposed to just starting on the surface in the West. Tomorrowland was always sort of the black sheep in terms of castle parks. There wasn't really much there in its early years, and people thought it would become dated in a few years. That all changed when Space Mountain opened, and that's really when Tomorrowland got its footing. Overall, Space Mountain is a classic roller coaster that still holds up really well over 50 years later. Magic Kingdom's version has a really interesting queue and layout as there are two separate tracks that are nearly identical. The Energizer and Lift Hill get your blood pumping, and it's all chaos from there. Your vehicle goes zooming around in the dark, and no matter how many times I ride this, I will never memorize the direction the track goes. I also always try to keep my arms down and duck my head because I'm always worried I'll get decapitated. Obviously, roller coasters need to be tested for safety, but still, is it safe? But overall, Space Mountain has managed to win back the crowd from Tomorrowland, and now it's going to be a beloved attraction for decades to come. To be clear, I'm not a big fan of Aerosmith. I only know maybe 2 or 3 songs they've made, but I won't lie when I say the Rock and Roller Coaster is one hell of an attraction. I didn't experience this for myself until 2022, as do you really think 5-year-old me would ride this? But man, it's a blast. The launch is very fast, going to 60 miles an hour in just 3 seconds, and you feel it. It feels like you're glued to the seat from the G-force, and the rest of the attraction doesn't have much to say in terms of theming, as it is in pitch darkness, but is everything in terms of raw thrills. It's only one of the 2 Disney roller coasters that go upside down, the latter being Incredicoaster, which, if you were wondering, goes in between number 6 and 5 on the list. Rockin' is the textbook definition of a masterclass thrill ride. Man, I hope this doesn't get replaced. What the hell?
Welcome to the Himalayas!
I've already discussed Expedition Everest in my Animal Kingdom breaking, so I'll TLDR it. The show building is epic, the backwards part is very surprising, it's very thrilling, and it boasts one of the most insane animatronics ever built. It's just a shame they had to put it in B mode as it put too much stress on its foundation, but hey, we got Disco Yeti. Epcot purists are gonna crucify me for this, but Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is genuinely the best coaster in the entire resort. And to make you even more mad, I think replacing Universe of Energy was a good thing. It was an outdated ride that endorsed fossil fuels without bringing up the downsides, which wouldn't fly well today. Most people only went out to see the dinosaurs anyways. But on the topic of Cosmic Rewind, it's a blast. The pre-show has a weak start, but once the Celestial enters, you get super hyped for the ride. The backwards launch is very cool, and unlike Tron, the rest of the ride is even better. You're caught in the middle of an epic space battle against a Celestial while your vehicle spins around with the action. It kinda reminds me of the Galactus event in Fortnite. Basically take everything I said about Space Mountain and crank it up to 100. Vekoma even made a new type of coaster just for this ride called the Omni Coaster, and the ride is one of the largest indoor roller coasters in the world. The ride is also very smooth, unlike some others on the list. I don't know why people say this ride makes them nauseous. Maybe if you weren't drinking around the world, you wouldn't feel that way. I'm not that kind of Disney adult who will just blindly eat up any slop this company outputs, but Cosmic Rewind overall is truly one of the best roller coasters that I have ever been on, and I truly mean that. Oh, and did I forget to mention that it has 70s and 80s music on it? That's pretty neat. And that's that. That's every single Disney World roller coaster ranked worst to best in my opinion. This video took a lot of time and effort to make, so I would really appreciate if you shared this video and liked this video, and maybe subscribe. You don't have to, but just give the credit that this video deserves, because this took a lot of effort. So, thanks for watching.